I still remember that morning like it happened yesterday. Supposed to be a quiet start, coffee in hand, maybe the sound of birds out past the porch swing, right? Instead, what do I get? Hammering bulldozers and a line of dump trucks rolling over my family's land like they owned the place. I walked out in my slippers, blinked hard, and man, I swear I just froze right there. Across the tree line where my granddad's old field used to run wild, there were 9 brand new houses popping up out of the dirt like weeds after a summer storm. For a second, I honestly thought I was dreaming or having some kind of heat stroke. But nope. This was real construction crews everywhere. Banners flapping in the wind and bold as you please signs that read Meadowbrook HOA Expansion Phase 3. That would have been fine, except all 15 acres of that dirt belonged to me. I'd inherited it not 2 years before, and as I stood there, I realized the local HOA had built an entire neighborhood right on top of my property. If you're thinking I lost it, you're right. But here's the twist, and you're not going to believe it. Those people, every single one, are paying me rent every month. Yeah, you heard that right. But don't get ahead of me. Let me tell you how I took their scam and flipped it into my best investment yet. See, when my grandfather left me that land, I figured I'd use it to grow old, maybe put up a small cabin, fish a little, keep my distance from all the suburban drama. It wasn't much to the world, but to me, that land was history. My grandfather cleared those woods with his own 2 hands back in the 50s, and he used to say, "Land's the only thing, they don't make more of, Tommy, protect it." I thought I did. Or at least I thought I had until 3 months before that wild morning when I'd left for a consulting job out of state, locked the cabin, chained the gate, and figured nothing could go wrong. When I came back, I swear it was like stepping onto a different planet. The old oak trees lining the driveway. Gone. The field where his barn used to sit. Leveled, paved, vanished. The little creek, they'd rerouted it into a storm drain. And there they were, 9 cookie-cutter houses, all gleaming new roofs and plastic siding under the sun. I thought it had to be some mistake. Maybe the county bought land for a road. Maybe a developer just got sloppy with the survey lines. But as I walked up, it all clicked the signs. The landscaping, even the colors, matched Meadowbrook HOA's other projects. I stormed up to the foreman, clipboard in hand, looking like he ran the world. "Hey, mind telling me what's going on?" He barely looked up, said Phase 3 of Meadowbrook Estates, 9 new family units, HOA approved. You'll need to stay behind the safety tape. I almost laughed, except I was furious. Phase 3. There isn't a Phase 3. This is my land. He just frowned like I was the crazy one. Ma'am, sir, all of this was approved by the board. We've got permits. Permits? I know permits. I'm a civil engineer. You don't build anything without land records, plats clearance from the county. Who signed the permits, I asked. He pointed, Linda Prescott, Meadowbrook HOA president. Now, if you know anything about Linda Prescott, you know she's the suburban queen of power trips. More rules than the city council bans holiday lights, fines people for grass being a half-inch too long. People call her Karen with a clipboard. This was her magnum opus. I told the foreman he was trespassing. He laughed. "Take it up with the HOA office, sir. I just follow the plans." He walked away. I stood there in the dust, realizing someone was trying to wipe my family's legacy off the map for profit. That night, I couldn't sleep. I dug out every deed, survey, tax receipt I had read through property lines till my eyes burned. Lot 18, Parcel 47B13, starting at the old maple tree at the north corner. Every inch of those houses sat right inside my boundaries. Just to be sure, I went down to the county the next morning. The clerk Vince had known my family for decades. When I showed him the map, he squinted and said, "Well, that's odd. According to the new submission, your property got reclassified last year under a community expansion overlay. I didn't sign anything, I shot back." "Linda Prescott did," he replied, shaking his head. "But she attached a land use map that says your land was abandoned." I felt my blood boil. "Abandoned, I pay property taxes every year." Vince leaned closer and said, "If you didn't authorize this, you need a lawyer." I drove home. looked out at those half-finished houses and realized someone had decided to steal from me with a pin and a smile. I called the HOA, got the secretary, then Linda herself. "Oh, Mr. Bennett, I've been expecting your call," she purred, like I was an annoying sales rep. "You know you're building on my land," she chuckled. "Your deed references the old survey line. That land was annexed last year, perfectly legal. Annexed. Without my consent." She snapped, "If you want to file a complaint, go ahead. But construction will continue." That's when I knew it wasn't a mistake, it was war. That night I walked the property line, flashlight in hand, snapping photos, filming survey markers, measuring everything. By the 9th lot, I found my grandfather's old wooden marker still there, half buried, but proof that someone had faked the new boundary. I whispered into the dark, "You picked the wrong land, Linda." From then on, I wasn't just stopping her, I was going to make her regret ever hearing my name. I needed to know how deep her web ran. Public records told the story. Forged boundary maps, fake permits, even a developer's contract signed with Linda's initials. She'd already taken 7 down payments from buyers planning to flip 9 luxury houses before anyone caught on. It wasn't ignorance, it was fraud. But I needed witnesses. One day at the local cafe, I met David and Rachel Miller, a couple who'd been fined $500 by Linda for having their recycling bin out too long. When I told them what I'd found, their jaws dropped. "That woman acts like she owns the county," Rachel muttered. I leaned in and said, "What if I told you she's built on land that's not even hers?" Within minutes, they were telling me everything: how Linda bullied board members, doctored votes, and fired anyone who questioned her. That's when I realized it wasn't just about me. It was about stopping her for everyone's sake. David and Rachel offered to help. I scanned every document, sent digital copies to my attorney friend Sarah Chen, and started building a case quietly, methodically. Every photo, every email, every contract stacked in a file no judge could ignore. Sarah showed up at my kitchen table, sipped her coffee, and after one look at the evidence said, "This isn't a survey error, Tom. This is fraud. You could freeze the site now, but Linda would just spin it. If you let her finish, let people move in, then you negotiate as the rightful owner, you'll have all the leverage." It was risky, but I took her advice. We built a silent alliance, me, Sarah, David, Rachel, and soon enough a handful of nervous homebuyers. Even a couple of construction workers confessed legal. "You think Linda cares?" She said, "Build fast and keep quiet." I documented everything: trail cameras, receipts, footage of crews working after hours. And as the houses neared completion, Linda ramped up the pressure. Anonymous letters, threats, a developer offering hush money. I photographed it all. By the time she held her grand ribbon-cutting balloons, realtors, bloggers snapping photos, I was ready. I walked straight into her party, dropped a stack of deeds and certified surveys on the table and said, "You built 9 houses on my land. You took people's money for homes you never had the right to sell." The crowd went silent. Buyers demanded answers. Linda fumbled for excuses, but the documents did all the talking. Phones came out, people filmed, and the local bloggers started a live stream. By the time I got home, the news was everywhere. Sarah filed a mountain of complaints, county, state, even the real estate commission. Linda called, voice cold as ice, "You've destroyed innocent families. You're going to pay for this in court." I just said, "You built on stolen land, Linda. That's on you." Her lawyers tried every trick, but the judge saw through it all. My deeds, tax records, and my grandfather's old survey told the real story. Within a week, the HOA board collapsed, developers froze the accounts, and Linda, well, she tried to bribe me one last time with a note and a wad of cash. I kept it as evidence. The day of the final hearing, the courtroom was packed. Even the county surveyor testified that Linda's map was a forgery. When Sarah presented the bribe note, the judge didn't hesitate. "All 9 houses in this land belong to Mr. Bennett. The HOA will pay damages. Buyers turned to me, scared for their homes. I told them, "You're not getting kicked out. You'll sign leases and pay me rent. No more Linda, no more fines for mailbox colors." That was the day everything changed. The HOA crumbled. Linda faced charges for fraud, and my land, my grandfather's land, finally came back to me with interest. Every month, 9 checks hit my account. Meadowbrook's expansion, built on lies, became my own private rental community. The residents formed a new board. David and Rachel led it and turned the place into a real neighborhood with barbecues, laughter, and no more fear. They even renamed it Bennett Grove. And me, I built that lakeside cabin, planted apple trees with the kids, and started living again. 6 months later, a developer offered to buy everything triple market value. I took the deal. Full circle poetic justice and a retirement plan built out of someone else's arrogance. Linda moved away, her name a punchline at local coffee shops. The land, the homes, the peace, all of it finally was mine. So if there's one thing I learned, patience and paperwork beat arrogance and noise. If someone tries to take what's yours, don't yell. Prove it line by line till no one can deny the truth. Maybe the best revenge isn't watching your enemy lose, but turning their greed into your paycheck. So have you ever had to stand your ground against someone who thought the rules didn't apply to them? Drop your story in the comments. Let's talk about what justice really looks like. And if you want more tales of karma, don't forget to subscribe, because in this world, HOA drama never sleeps.